Will influencers and celebs ever stop asking for free cake? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is normally the scenario. So a baker, and it's normally a small baker, small independent bakery where there's maybe 1 or 2 staff, get a message from an influencer or celeb, or maybe a PR company representing those people, saying, hey, X person is having an event, we'd love you to supply a cake. In exchange, we will put pictures of the cake on our social media because we have X amount of followers, and you will get lots of exposure. And the exposure is basically their payment. And I think the reason they particularly target small bakers is because they'll think that they'll be like, oh my gosh, this celeb wants my cake, it's going to be featured on their social media and I'm going to get hundreds of orders, and they'll take it. And in the past, some bakers have done that, but in reality, you probably won't get any orders. And I've also heard of bakers who have taken this on and said, okay, here's the cake, make sure you put it on your social media. And then the celebs don't put it on their social media. The baker goes back to them and says, what's going on? You haven't featured it on the social media. Silence. So the baker gets nothing out of it at all. It frustrates me because it's like, pay for the cake, pay for the cake. Do you know how hard it is these days to make money from cake as a small baker? With everything going up in price, all those ingredients going up in price, trying to make even a tiny profit is almost impossible. And I just feel that a lot of small bakers get taken advantage of, and they get all happy and giddy that this celeb wants this cake, and then they get nothing out of it, and then they get upset, especially if they provided a really elaborate cake that normally they would have charged like hundreds of pounds for. There's been various stories of obviously the whole influencers, celebs asking for cakes, and a lot of them have made the press. So there was one in particular last year which made most of the mainstream papers, and it was a management company who had approached a bakery called Three Little Birds in, I think it was in Leeds, it was up north. And they asked this particular baker, they said, okay, this actress is having a party, we want this cake to be made, and in exchange you'll be all over the social pages of our client. And I love the fact that bakers are now pushing back on this whole we're not going to pay you, but we're going to put a picture of the cake on social channels, because I've written it down. This is what the bakery responded. They said, I'm sorry to hear that your client has fallen on such hard times that they can't afford to pay small businesses for their product. Unfortunately, as my mortgage provider does not take payment in the form of promotion on socials, and staff can't feed their kids with exposure on Instagram, I'll have to decline your very generous offer. Now this went viral, and I remember seeing it on a few bakers' pages, and I was just like, I think I made a TikTok about it as well. And it ended up going viral, and it ended up being in like the Independent, the Guardian, the Daily Mail, all those papers. Now the actress in question, the celebrity who the cake was for, was an actress called Catherine Tilsley, who's in Coronation Street. I don't know who she is because I don't watch Coronation Street. And she came out and basically said that she had no idea the management company were doing this on her behalf, and they were asking for free cake. And then the management company came out and basically said, oh no, we were always going to pay. Highly unlikely. And then Catherine Tilsley came out and basically said, oh, I hope the baker got all her, she got good publicity out of it. Because I think, and this is the problem, people always take it too far. People were starting to send threatening emails to Catherine, and I'm just like, it's not that deep. And I do believe that she probably didn't know what the management company were doing. But to send like death threats and that, I mean, come on, people always take it to the extreme. But the fact that she kind of thought that the bakery were doing this on purpose to get publicity, it's like, no, I think the bakery regularly probably get these kind of requests, and they just had enough and be like, no, we're not doing it anymore. We're not doing it anymore. And I applaud that bakery for standing up for what they believe. Now, Angus de Sook Reshmi, she's an independent baker. Now, she gets asked all these requests all the time from influencers and celebs, and it's hilarious because what she does is, on her Instagram, she will show the request. She always blocks out who the person is though. She never really reveals that. And then she always shows how she responds. And she always responds with, okay, you want a cake? Here are my prices. And it's like, and then she never hears from them again. And it's funny because she's been in a few papers as well, with having had influencers and celebrities approach her for a free cake. And I'm like, do you know how many times that she's clap back at people, and you as an influencer celebrity don't know who she is and still asking for free cake? This is someone who will never give you free cake, but her response is hilarious and I love it. And she is, even though I don't bake anymore, she is one of my favorite bakers that I follow, because she just really stands up for what she believes. So I will put a link to her website, but go and follow her on Instagram because I love her so much. But let me know what you think. Do you think influencers and celebs should pay for a cake, or do you feel that, well, you know, they've got like 100,000 followers, it's enough just to put a picture of the cake on their socials? Let me know. Until next time, cake lovers.